Mount Tambora. Imagine waking up one morning in 1815 in Indonesia, and the sky is completely dark. For months, the sun barely shows. The air turns cold, crops die, and famine spreads everywhere. This all started with the eruption of Mount Tambora on Sumbawa Island in April 1815. The explosion was about 10,000 times stronger than the Hiroshima atomic bomb. The blast was heard as far away as Sumatra, over 2,000 kilometers away. Ash, lava, and rocks shot 40 kilometers into the sky, while tsunamis struck nearby coasts. The immediate impact killed more than 71,000 people, mostly from pyroclastic flows, ash-burying villages, and tsunamis. But the disaster didn't stop there. Tambora's volcanic ash spread across the atmosphere, leading to the infamous Year Without a Summer in 1816. In Europe and America, temperatures dropped drastically, crops failed, and millions faced hunger. Next, the 2004 Indian Ocean earthquake and tsunami. On December 26, 2004, the ground shook violently beneath the Indian Ocean near Aceh, Indonesia. A 9.1 magnitude earthquake lasted almost 10 minutes, one of the longest in history. It triggered a massive tsunami traveling as fast as a jet plane, about 800 kilometers per hour. Within minutes, 30-meter-high waves smashed into Aceh, destroying homes, mosques, and buildings in seconds. The tsunami then swept across Thailand, Sri Lanka, India, and even reached Africa. The result? Over 230,000 people died, making it one of the deadliest natural disasters ever recorded. The 1883 eruption of Mount Krakatoa. Back in 1883, Krakatoa erupted in Indonesia with a deafening explosion heard 3,000 miles away. The eruption triggered 40-meter-high tsunamis that struck the coasts of Java and Sumatra, killing more than 36,000 people. The blast also lowered global temperatures by nearly 1 degree Celsius for several years, while skies around the world turned strange colors. 2010 Haiti Earthquake. On January 12, 2010, a 7.0 magnitude earthquake struck Haiti. The epicenter was only 13 kilometers from the capital, Port-au-Prince. Within 35 seconds, entire neighborhoods collapsed. Hospitals crumbled, streets were filled with victims, and aid was slow to arrive. The tragedy left 230,000 people dead, 300,000 injured, and 1.5 million homeless, pushing the already poor nation into even deeper crisis. Next is the 2011 Tohoku earthquake and Japanese tsunami. On March 11, 2011, Japan was shaken by a 9.0 magnitude earthquake, the strongest in its modern history. The quake triggered a 40-meter-high tsunami. Moving at over 700 kilometers, coastal cities like Sendai and Fukushima were devastated within minutes. The tsunami also caused the Fukushima nuclear disaster, forcing hundreds of thousands to evacuate. In the end, more than 15,000 people died, with another 4,500 missing, never found. The Great Flood of China 1931. In 1931, China faced one of the deadliest disasters in history, the Great Floods. Heavy rains caused the Yangtze, Yellow, and Huai rivers to overflow, flooding an area of 180,000 square kilometers, bigger than the entire island of Java. Crops, villages, and millions of homes were destroyed. Diseases like cholera and typhus spread quickly. Death toll estimates range from 2 to 4 million people, making it perhaps the deadliest natural disaster ever. China Tangshan Earthquake. On July 28, 1976, at 3:30 a.m., while most people were asleep, a 7.5 magnitude earthquake struck Tangshan, China. In just 15 seconds, nearly the entire city of 1 million people was reduced to rubble. Because information was tightly controlled, rescue efforts were delayed. In the end, about 242,000 people died, making it one of the deadliest earthquakes of the 20th century. Mount Nevado del Ruiz. On November 13, 1985, Colombia's Nevado del Ruiz volcano erupted. The eruption wasn't massive, but it melted the ice cap at the summit, sending a 10-meter-high lahar rushing down at 60 kilometers per hour. The town of Armero, 48 kilometers away, was buried within 2 hours. Of its 28,000 residents, 23,000 were killed. One of the most tragic stories was that of Omaira Sanchez, a 13-year-old girl trapped in debris for 3 days before she died, becoming a symbol of the disaster. Bhola Cyclone in Bangladesh. In November 1970, Cyclone Bhola struck Bangladesh and India with winds of 220 kilometers per hour and storm surges that drowned entire villages. With no warning system in place, people had no chance to escape. The disaster killed about 500,000 people, making it the deadliest tropical cyclone in recorded history. Mount Pelée, Martinique Island, in the Caribbean. On May 8, 1902, the Caribbean island of Martinique witnessed the eruption of Mount Pelée. Within minutes, a fiery cloud of superheated gas at 1,000 degrees Celsius rushed down at 600 kilometers per hour, wiping out the city of Saint-Pierre. Almost 30,000 people died instantly. Only 2 survived. One was a prisoner locked in a stone cell underground. Next, the European heatwave. In the summer of 2003, Europe was hit by a deadly heatwave. Temperatures soared to 47 degrees Celsius, sparking wildfires in Portugal and Spain. Thousands of elderly people died from heat stroke and dehydration. In cities like Paris, many apartments had no air conditioning, leading to an unexpected surge in deaths. The total death toll reached 70,000 people, making it the deadliest heat wave in modern history. Vargas Landslide, Venezuela. In 1999, the Venezuelan state of Vargas suffered days of relentless rainfall. The soaked mountains gave way, unleashing massive landslides that buried 50,000 homes and wiped out entire coastal areas. About 30,000 people died, making it Venezuela's worst natural disaster in modern history. Hurricane Katrina, USA. Finally, on August 29, 2005, Hurricane Katrina struck Louisiana and Mississippi with winds of 280 kilometers per hour. But the worst came when the levees in New Orleans failed, flooding 80% of the city. Thousands of residents were trapped on rooftops, while others crowded into the Superdome Stadium. With slow government response, the disaster turned into chaos. In total, 1,833 people died, and damages reached $125 billion, making Katrina the costliest hurricane in U.S. history.